welcome to another video. Today we're going to be, summarising Season 6 of GBL, given that it's about to wrap up and we're going into Season 7. So we're going to look at some Great League, Ultra League and Master League teams that I came across this season that I either used myself and found pretty good, or played against and thought they were pretty solid teams. Now, a lot of these teams are available on various YouTube pages, so I might make reference to those as we go through them. So let's dip into Great League and see what we've got. Okay, so the first team we'll be looking at has Hypno, Umbreon and Scrafty. Various movesets were listed in the display there. Basically, this is the double dark line. If you want to see more games with it and understand how the team works, Vergy, V-E-R-G-Y-V-E-R-G. He plays regularly on Twitch. He's a really good GBL battler, and he also has his own YouTube page, and he is pretty much popularised this team. So basically how it works is, having double dark in the back, you're going to be weak to fighting. So he runs Hypno up front, and it's an ABB lineup where you use Umbreon as the safe swap if you don't encounter a fighter in the lead, to draw out that fighter. And basically that goes down, and you have Hypno to clean up the fighter, and then the theory is Scrafty can rev up on power-up punches in the back end, with either the Scrafty or the Azumarill with the Azumarill or the fighter being drawn out, and it should have a better time in the back, particularly as Steel is very popular, G-Fisk, that sort of thing. So that's how the team works in principle, and as you can see here, it's also a pretty thick team. Can take some hits. Umbreon, as we know, is an absolute tank. Scrafty's very solid when it's not against its particular counters. And I just want to also make a note, I'm using Acid Spray here. I hadn't changed the moves on my Scrafty since I built it. So disregard that fact and just make sure you go back and look at the movesets in the intro. If you're looking at the proper movesets, Foul Play would be ideal, and it would probably do a fair bit more damage against this Tropius in this situation too, making it a better matchup. So as this one's starting to draw to a close, I don't think we're quite going to get it done here, but as I say, if we'd had the Foul Play we would have. So yeah, it's a very versatile team, it's very chunky, and look, it has really good play versus most of the meta. Actually, it looks like we might win this one if they shield this. Yeah, it looks like they're going to. If we can get the Shadow Ball off here, we should win this. Ooh, yeah, I think we're just going to make it here. We'll be able to shield here. And Shadow Ball coming through, and that'll finish off the Deoxys, and should just about be able to... yeah, we've gone out there. Oh no, that hasn't quite worked out. So we're just going to fall short here, I'd say. Yeah, so basically one confusion short, and we didn't have the right moveset. So yeah, very solid team, this one. Alright, well let's go on to the next matchup. And this one is Pelipper and Double Steel in the back. So again, very good team. Pelipper with standard moveset, Bastiodon, standard moveset there with Smackdown, Flamethrower, and G-Fisk in the back, which has become a bit of a cancer in GBL, but a great mod. Okay, so essentially the principle of this team is to keep your Pelipper alive, which is pretty versatile, particularly against fighters, and that sort of thing. Spams that Weather Ball, and to go into your Steels is probably a G-Fisk mainly as your safe swap. Another ABB team, obviously, and that will draw out any fighters, and it should hopefully mean that Bastiodon can come in over the top and win most of the matchups. I mean, the meta as it stands now, Galvantula is very popular. Here's a good example, Cresselia. Bastiodon can just sort of come in and it walls everything it's got. So, and again, a very good team. I actually used this team in the 2800s and gained about 100-ish elo in a couple of days. Basically because Bastiodon has just become an absolute monster. It was always great before, but we've had that bubble nerf on Azumarill now, so any Azumarill that's not running Hydro, Bastiodon wins that match, so in all shield scenarios. So it's just become an absolute tank, an absolute weapon. and it's obviously it walls flyers. And in this example here, you can see another mon that's become particularly popular now that it's got Weather Ball spam is Alolan Ninetales. And as you can see here, Bastiodon's going to put in some work. It's quite low, but Weather Ball does not much. The smackdowns are hitting really, really hard here. And what this team does so well is when it gets the matchups right, and it's going to here, the G-Fist going to get on this Ninetales, and one Rock Slide will take it out, and Weather Balls basically do nothing to G-Fisk. So there's not much that the Ninetales can do here. Getting the Rock Slide off here, and that'll finish that off. Looks Swampert will come back in. I'll look to swap out here. I think he had energy. Yeah, so quickly swap out there. Take the Hydro on the Pelipper, which is what it's there for, to essentially protect the steals. And yeah, it's game over, unfortunately. Probably just wing attack down here for the disrespect, or whatever you want to call it. But yeah, it's a great team and it functions so well. So if it gets lead, it's going to win. So the next team we're going to look at is a team from Wallowa. He's got a YouTube channel, Vigoroth lead, Altaria, and Galvantula in the back. So another really unique team, a little bit ABB-ish as well. So the principle of this team, when it doesn't win lead, as we can see here, as you can see here with one lead, so going to switch out. But in principle, how this team works is you can bring the Galvantula in as a safe swap, even against a bad matchup, or if they bring in a Bastiodon or something like that. And it can normally get 1 or 2 lunges off, so it's actually debuffing that secondary matchup. And then it allows the Vigoroth to come in and get a ton of energy, because let's say it's a Bastiodon, its moves are going to be nerfed or reduced in attack, and it allows something like the Vigoroth to just farm it all the way down the counter. In this matchup, we won lead. Didn't do a great job there. Should have let our Altaria lose a fair bit of its health before putting it in there. We just gave the Bastiodon a fair bit of farm. But as you can see, Vigoroth's always been great on the safe swap. But where it really shines, and the reason it's so good on the safe swap, is it can just spam Body Slam so quickly. It generates them really quickly. So if you picture a losing lead here, and this Bastiodon matchup being the secondary matchup, you can see could have got a ton of energy on the Vigoroth and just spam that into the next matchup and got shields. But looks like we're going to get the win anyway here. Victory Bell with the Leaf Blade nerf plus a debuff from Lunge should mean that the Spider can get to 1 more lunge here. And the Volt Switches are doing a lot of damage, and we've got a Body Slam loaded on the Vigoroth, so, and it's now in Body Slam range, so won that one, but that was definitely tight, pretty much because we misplayed that Bastiodon matchup at the start. But in any case, really solid team, that one as well. Let's go on to our next team. Now this team's got Venusaur, it's got Sableye on the safe swap, and it's got G-Fisk in the back. Now, all movesets are standard. Now, the player that I first saw using this is actually Tho Technical. He's got his own channel and he's a streamer. He's a very well-known PvPer. But he was one of the first people I heard was using a team like this. Now, similar to a team that I was using at the start of the season, with the Tropius replacing the Venusaur. You've got Sableye as the safe swap, but the thing about Venusaur is it just hits so hard, so it's not walled, as you saw there, as badly by things like Bastiodon or G-Fisk, because Frenzy Plant's such a broken move that it can actually still do a fair bit of damage. So, lose that secondary matchup, but only just, but got a shield in hand here, can come in and farm down with Venusaur. But yeah, you could potentially trade out and put the Shadow Venusaur in, but I mean, Venusaur hits hard already, and having a little bit of extra bulk's probably beneficial. And looks like they've got a Shadow Victory Bell in the back, so this isn't looking too good for them. Should be able to get to another Sludge there. They're swapping out, trying to draw the move, and we've now got our G-Fisk on the Bastiodon, and we don't even need to shield from here. We can look to just Rock Slide and then Mudshot down from here and commit one shield, and we'll be able to Earthquake the Victory Bell in the back, so we're not even going to need the Venusaur. So yeah, really solid team, this one. Handles most things quite well. Obviously, a flyer in the front isn't ideal, but that's okay, because that's what Sableye for, to hopefully get switched back. And if it can't do that, getting shields down, that can certainly be advantageous as well. And when shields are down, G-Fisk goes to town. So it is a very good team. Can highly recommend this one as well. Alright, so the next team we're going to look at is it's got a Bombsnow, it's got a Alolan Marowak, and it's also running a Azumarill. Now, the note I want to make is, in this situation, obviously in movesets are noted above there or beside it, Shadow Abomasnow is better, and you may consider running Shadow Bone over Shadow Ball, which I'm running at the moment. Don't have my Shadow one built yet, but I will in a few days, because we've got that Rocket event coming up. Anyway, on the lead here, fairly neutral, but we're going to dip out. Principle of this team is that Azu is a pretty decent save swap. You've got two things that counter a lot of the things that Azu can't handle. So if it's a Grass or if it's Galvantula or anything like that, you've got two things there that can take care of it and clean up afterwards. And both. The thing about this team that makes it really good as well is that you've got a Azumarill that's really bulky and can take a hit, and you've also got two things in the back that are hit very hard, particularly when shields are down. Both of them hit reasonably hard against things that are considered counters to them when shields are down. So in this particular matchup here, we've gone double Hydro because we wanted to get their shields. We're going to lose Switch here. But the good thing about this is that we've got shield advantage, and we can look to come in and farm down, obviously throw one Weather Ball, but reduce this to nothing, and yeah, hopefully we can get some work done in the back. So we'll probably take this and look to Powder Snow down. It'd just be a matter of whether or not Marowak can take what's in the back, and generally with a shield advantage it can, so just have to wait and see. Oh, it's a Scrafty in the back, so we'll throw the Weather Ball here and dip out. But yeah, look, this is a pretty tough matchup, you say, because obviously the Scrafty's got Foul Play. So we've got two shields, but we're going to try and call bait here, but we don't. Okay, so that's a terrible start for us, but let's see if we can get the job done. So obviously we just got to go Bone Clubs here, with the Ghost moves being resisted by the Scrafty. And going into the next matchup here, looks like they're going to get another move away. We'll have to shield this. It's probably only Power Up Punch, but either way, it's a Foul Play, which is great. So we can just Fire Spin all the way down here. And okay, that leaves us having to get a Shadow Ball off against this Hypno, and we're just going to make it. So yeah, as I said, very versatile team, and when shields are down, it can come back from big losses. Alright, so having had a look at those teams, let's dip into Ultra League here. Now, we've got a couple of teams, both in Ultra League Prem and Open Ultra. We're going to start in Ultra League Prem. Now, this is a team that carried a lot of people to Legend last season. It's a very simple team to use: Empoleon, Dragonite, and you've got Kingdra as a save swap. The double dragon team, as it's commonly referred to. The principle of this team is essentially that you've got Empoleon there as a really hard counter to Charm. So if you don't get a Charmer in the lead, you generally want to swap out where you can and try and draw out any potential Charmers. So in this case, we're trying to catch an Earthquake on the Dragonite. We failed that, but their best swap in was the Obstagoon. So that's pretty good for us. We can just go straight Dragon Claw here. And the fast move pressure of Dragon Breath and the Empoleon's Waterfall is really what makes this team work so well. Just pure fast move pressure. And I guess the other part of it is the Octazooka debuff on Kingdra. If you can draw a shield there and decrease their attack, it just makes the team so powerful. I know Purple Kyogre, who's a streamer, who I would say is a decent PvPer, but not terribly strong. I think he went from about 2600. He was kind of stuck there, and then he took this team on and managed to go all the way to Legend with it. I think we obviously picked up about 400 points, and he did it in 3 or 4 days. So yeah, at that time, this team was going very much unchecked, and it's just such a powerful team. So here, letting the energy ball go through, we'll still get to the drill pack here, and do. Now, probably going to shield this. We can bring the Kingdra in there. All the shields are down now. So what we can do here is probably shield this, although it's probably only a weather ball, which is neutral for Kingdra. That's what makes Kingdra so good, is that a lot of the things that affect dragons are only neutral on it in some cases. It can go up against Lapras pretty convincingly. But anyway, in this case, survives the Earthquake and can now outrage the Venusaur before it gets to another move. So, yeah, look, really probably the team of Ultra League Prem. Now we're going to have a look at Skarm, XL Skarm with Kingdra and Swampert. This is the team that I ran for the majority of the second half of the Ultra League Prem season. This is the team that got me to Legend. Got about 150 points, or about 100 points in about 2 or 3 days with it. Just super solid team. So basically the way it works is you've got Skarm up front for your fighters and your grass. But obviously it's weak to fire. So we've got 2 waters in the back to deal with that. And they're very versatile waters too. As you can see here, Snorlax save swap straight into Swampert, and Swampert is just so quick on the moves. The Hydro Cannons come through thick and fast, and on the secondary matchup, it very rarely lets you down. Even in this case here, it's going to win this matchup. It'll leave with a bit of energy, but it's probably going to get farmed down by the Machamp when that comes back in. But yeah. Oh, he's brought Muck in, and that means we'll get to a Hydro here, which is great. Probably also means, now that we know his full team, that we can resist getting farmed down and go into the Kingdra, which is going to work well here. And we'll shield this up, and what we're going to do is throw the Octazooka here, and as you'll see, once that Octazooka comes through, he'll have to shield here, and does, but watch this. Attack's dropped, and what goes from being pretty neutral game is game over for him. Don't even need to shield here, this won't KO. And the beauty of it is we can almost farm down. The attack's dropped, so we can just come in with Skarm and take whatever it throws, and it's just not going to do that much damage. So we can now get to a Brave Bird, and the best part is we kept our Swampert alive. We resisted the urge, and we swapped it out so we could keep it in the back as a sack swap. But here it's going to work as we're going to throw the Brave Bird, which lowers your stats. We can then swap straight out into the Swampert, just let that go down, and then come back in with the Skarm and just air slash this down. Dark Pulse won't KO here, and that's game. So yeah, really good team. There's other videos on my channel if you want to check that one out a bit more. Now we're going to go into Ultra League Open. We're going to start with the team that's got Giratina, Lapras, and Articuno in it. Now, this is the Oxford Uline, and he's got his own YouTube page. He's been using this team for a couple of seasons now, but basically it's his double ice line. And the way he likes to run it is he basically has 2 ice there, so he can use one, and a lot of people get lured into that false sense of security that they've got rid of one, and that's it, and that their Giratina is safe in the back, and then out comes a Lapras or whatnot, and there's not much that they can do. So, because Giratina is such a big mon and it's so good and so prevalent, having a double ice team, particularly something like Articuno that can debuff. It's very versatile, and Lapras has just got incredible amount of bulk. So this would probably be an energy ball. No, it's just a weather ball, so he's spamming the weather ball here. But yeah, Lapras can just take hits. So you can pair it up with weaker Mon, such as Articuno, and give it each the shields and have faith that that's going to work really well. So yeah, as you can see here, we're unfortunately the matchups here are a little bit slow because we've got a lot of similar type Mon going on. This is really why I don't play a lot of Ultra League. It's just a little bit too slow and boring. But basically, I'm throwing Icy Winds here. I've already had a read that he's going to have Guillotine in the back. So what I can do here is throw these Icy Winds, which will debuff the Lapras. And then I can let my Articuno go down. And I know that if I bring my Lapras in, he won't swap out. So he's debuffed and he has to sit in there because he's got his Giratina in the back. So he's just going to throw these debuff Surfs. And as you can see, this matchup's going to take forever. And what he'll be hoping is that his Giratina can take whatever's in the back, but I've got a shield and I've got a Giratina as well. So at this stage, I kind of know that it's game over. We're just sort of going through the motions. His Lapras is debuffed, but also I just want to make sure of things. It may not be Giratina in the back, so it'd be good to keep Lapras alive. So I'm just going to throw the move here and then go into my Giratina, and sure enough, out comes his. His is running Dragon Breath, so I know with shields down, mine's going to be a lot harder hitting, and I've also got a shield, so I'm going to get to another Dragon Claw here, and the time is about to run out. Typical Ultra League thing to happen. He gets to his move, I just need to shield this, so I've got more energy on both my Mon, and that's the end of that one. But yeah, it's a very solid team, that one. Now we're going to look at another line, consisting of Gyarados with Dragon Breath, Aquatail Crunch in the lead. It's got Lapras again, and it's got Giratina. Now, the guy that uses this team a lot has got a YouTube page as well. His name is Home Slice Henry, if you want to go and check him out. Now, this is his custom line, and basically how it works is you very rarely swap out of the lead. You just stay in with Gyarados, no matter what happens. Now, I probably don't use this team as he would use it on his channel, so definitely check him out on how to use it, because I've swapped out there. But yeah, generally what happens is he'll stay in with Gyarados even if it's a losing matchup. And then what he'll do is he comes in with his next Mon and farms down, gets a lot of energy, and then just sort of stays in. And I guess he's running 3 Giratina counters. Giratina itself, a Dragon Breath user that's not a dragon, and Lapras. So I guess the pattern we're seeing here in Ultra League is that if you bring enough counters and your opponent has Giratina, chances are you're probably going to win the game. And yeah, his team here, he had a lot of success. He got to Legend this season and last season using the team. And some people don't like technical teams, but go check out his channel on how to use this team. His big selling point about it is that it's a stay-in team. You don't actually swap out of the lead. You just play it out in most cases, even if you lose, and then come in and farm down after that. So very good team. Don't mind it too much, and yeah, when I came across it, I found it quite interesting, and I know he did a fair bit of climbing with it. What I did find is a lot of battles are pretty close at times, which you don't really like, but as you can see here, managed to be fortunate enough to get this Gyarados on the Togekiss here, be able to spam some Aquatails. We'll shield here just so we can get another Aquatail off. Might even be able to get to 2 more actually, which is what we need to do. We just got to get this Togekiss super low. If we can do that, hasn't shielded there, and we can probably let this go now. We'll be able to farm that down with Giratina. And yeah, okay, we needed the shield too because the Gengar's got a ton of energy. So we'll let this one go, just a Shadow Punch. Another one coming through, that'll just be a Shadow Punch as well. And yeah, he'll probably get to 1 more, but we can just take this, and that's why Giratina is so good. We've taken out the Gengar there, and we'll be able to Shadow Claw down the Togekiss. All right, so let's go into Master League now and look at a few teams here. We're only going to focus on Master League Classic here, obviously, and we're going to start with a really interesting team. We've got Ho-Oh, which I think has become a bit of a meta changer in Master League. Running it with Mewtwo with Psy Strike, Focus Blast, and Dialga with Thunder. So let's get into the game and have a look. But the reason we're not looking at Master League Classic, Master League, General Master League is, look, I don't have a lot of Excelmon to show you how to use them, and all the matchups do change. And obviously, Master League Prem is not returning next season whatsoever, so we're not going to focus on that. So we're just focusing on Master League Classic here. And we've gone in Mewtwo. He's got enough for a Shadow Ball, and he's got it, so we're just going to respect that. We may even have to use 2 shields to get this matchup done here. Another potential Shadow Ball coming through, so we're going to shield here. But look, the reason this team works so well is, like any team with Mewtwo, is that Mewtwo is a great safe swap. It hits most things pretty hard, and it's very spammy. So anyway, he's gone into Kyogre here as his safe swap. That works super well for us. We can keep our Ho-Oh away from it and get Dialga to come back in a minute. Decides not to shield there. We should be able to get to another Psy Strike. He's built up a little bit of energy now, and he probably just wants to get this Mewtwo out of here, so he'll shield this. But now he's out of shields. And we can go into our Dialga to catch the Surf, keeping the Mewtwo in the back for whatever we need to keep it for, potentially. We should be able to farm down here. Now, unfortunately, we don't have Draco, but that works out fine anyway. We've got a little bit of energy on the Ho-Oh there. And in this matchup here, we don't really want to win it, to be honest. We'll just throw the Iron Heads and get the Dialga into Incinerate range. So, yeah, and he's throwing here. So all we really want to do is come in, Incinerate their Dialga down, and that'll get us enough for a Brave Bird or an Earthquake, and then we'll just hit the Mewtwo with that, and that'll be game over. So, yeah, just go the Brave Bird here, and that's the end of that game. But Ho-Oh just hits so hard, and, you know, when you're using Earthquake as a bait move, essentially, to not debuff yourself, it's pretty incredible. Alright, the next team we're looking at now is Guillotine Altered, a super underrated mon in Master League with Togekiss, and we've got Dialga in the back. Now, this team, Tommy Love TV, who is probably just about the best Master League player in the world. If you want to go check out his channel, he's got how to play this team on there and a lot more matches than I've got. Basically, how this team works, in principle, is you can use your Dialga as bait to draw out the Melmetal, if they've got one, and we're doing that here. Doesn't look like they've got a Melmetal, but if they did and they brought it in, the Melmetal is going to have to superpower and debuff itself. And then what you can do with the Melmetal locked in, after it's beaten your Dialga, is come in with the Giratina and farm it all the way down. If you Shadow Claw it all the way down, you can get upwards of 3 Dragon Claws, and, you know, that's going to hit anything hard. And Giratina A is pretty bulky, so it's going to stick around. And the beauty of what happens there is by drawing out that Steel type, i.e. the Melmetal, and then Dragon Clawing a whole bunch of times, you've then got the Togekiss in the back to sweep. And with the Steel gone, there's a fair chance it will be able to do that. So that's how the team works in principle. Just super solid team, really. Draco coming through there, which we've shielded. Be able to farm that down. And that leaves Kyogre in the back here, which is GG's. It's got a bait and then get to the Blizzard. I think it's 5 waterfalls. 5 waterfalls to a Surf, and I think it's like, what is it, 75? Yeah, 75 to get to the Blizzard, 75 energy. So that's like, I think it's, what's that? That's 10 waterfalls. So yeah, you can count them out. But all we did here is swap in and get him to use his energy to get rid of the Togekiss, and that's the end of that one. So yeah, another good team. Check out Tommy Love TV if you want to learn more about that. Now, the next team's been around for a couple of years now. It's Melmetal, Guillotine Origin, running typical movesets, and Dragonite in the back. A lot of people know this as the 2-0 Butters team. Once Groudon started becoming super popular, he sort of built this team basically to counter Groudon, because Dragonite isn't such a hard counter. So in this case, we've actually gone into Dragonite. They've gone to Dialga, which is terrible. But let's see if they shield the Outrage. They don't. So we're actually going to win this secondary matchup. And that works super well for us because we've got Landorus. So yeah, Melmetal's not great in these matchups. But that's fine. Just shows the power of the team, and then you can win swap back. But yeah, this team is specifically amazing at countering teams with Groudon. Dragonite's particularly good against other dragons, but it absolutely walls Groudon. Doesn't even have to worry about anything. So we'll get the Rock Slides off here. Obviously, Melmetal's it's been hurt a little bit by those Rock Slide nerf, but it's still very viable mon. Probably just baited the Rock Slide there. Earth Power would have done a lot. Goes back into the Giratina, but we've now got shield advantage, so we can shield up the Shadow Ball here. And we only need to get to a Shadow Ball here. When we get to it, it's CMP. This could just be an ominous win from them, I'm not sure, but doesn't matter, because what we'll do here, we'll throw in the move, but again, it still doesn't really matter. We'll try and undercharge a bit, hopefully get into Shadow Claw, which we do. But yeah, at this stage, all shields are down. Can definitely take an Earth Power, which is probably what he's chucking here, and we'll be able to get that Shadow Ball off, so this is going to be another win. So yeah, even though Groudon not as popular this season, still super popular. That's a really strong team. So next team we're going to look at was a team that was good a couple of seasons ago. Still really solid. Dialga lead, Mewtwo and Groudon in the back. Now people are using a variation on this one as well, where they actually have Kyogre and Groudon, or Mewtwo, Kyogre and Groudon. But basically how this team works is if you get a bad lead, you go into Mewtwo and you win switch back. If you don't win switch back, generally how it works out if you get the right teams is your Groudon ends up having to come against with shields down, it ends up coming against either a Dialga or a Melmetal or both in the back, and it can take them both with shields down very comfortably. Fire Punch is a terrific move. But in this case, it's not going to quite pan out that way. As the Iron Head comes through there, we'll just have to see what they've got in the back. Dialga's going to let that one go now. They're going to Mud Shot down, which isn't ideal. Alright, bring Mewtwo in and hope to get a Side Strike off. They do have energy, but we can shield. Move coming through, it's probably just a Rock Slide, but we've got energy and they're swapped, and it's Lugia. Now, Lugia isn't in any of these teams that we've discussed, but if we're talking about Ho-Oh being MVP this season, Lugia is not far behind. Some people have actually developed teams that are double flyer with Lugia and Ho-Oh, and as you can see here, Groudon can't really do anything against Lugia at all, and it's so bulky as well. And worst part about this is, once the Lugia farms down the Groudon, Mewtwo can't do anything either. These Side Strikes are resisted, and Lugia is super bulky. Probably the reason why a lot of Mewtwo's are now running double Legacy, and Focus Blast is probably not used that much, if at all, anymore. So as you can see here, the Lugia, they threw Sky Attack, which is probably a bit of a mistake. It's given us a chance to come back here and win. Side Strike coming through. We'll get to the other Side Strike. We've got a little bit of built up energy there, and they did have, I think, 2 or 3 Mud Shots on the Landorus, but we'll CMP to the move here, and we just get the win. There's a bit of lag or something there. Anyway, the move goes through, and won that one as well. Probably shouldn't have. Bit lucky in that one. But anyway, there's some teams that we've seen this season. Here's a reminder of what the teams are. Feel free to go back through and have a look. Now, I've referenced some of the better players and YouTubers that use these teams, so go check it out and research that, and yeah, go from there. But I think with the new season coming up, there's going to be a lot of things will change and a lot to learn. But just in summary, I'll just probably make a couple of shout-outs, and one of them is in Great League, I would say Bastion was MVP this season. It's just become such a great mon, it's unreal. I would say in Ultra League, where we're talking Kingdra is super good, Guillotine Altered, still as good as it's ever been. And I think in Master League, Dialga's still king, but gee, Ho-Oh and Lugia really made an impact this season, and also double Legacy Mewtwo was around a bit as well. So good luck with next season, and I hope some of those teams give you some inspiration on some teams to build.